The European Commission's CVM has been largely praiseworthy of the anti-corruption efforts in Romania. Do you think that this praise is deserved?
In Romania, the anti-corruption efforts are led by the DNA, the National Anti-corruption Directorate, that's led by Laura Kövesi. In recent years, they have reported over 90% conviction rate. They have a larger number of asset freezes, arrests and convictions than any other counterpart agency across Europe. In 2007, the European Commission created the Cooperation and Verification Mechanism, the CVM, and that was created in order to help Romania and Bulgaria's judicial system, as well as their anti-corruption efforts, embrace the European values of integrity, transparency, and non-bias. So recently, the CVM, as well as other European Commission leaders, have praised Romania's DNA's high conviction rate. However, it seems that they fail to look beyond these numbers, because once you do look beyond these numbers, you see that there are a number of serious human rights violations.
Which human rights are at stake here?
So in relation to Romania and the independence of the judiciary, the concerns are bifold. The first of which is the right to a fair trial. As we know, a fair trial, the right to a fair trial is rooted in the independence of a judiciary. In Romania, since 2015, it has been widely known that the Romanian National Intelligence Service, the SRI, has been meddling in the judicial processes. They have been very open about this. For example, the SRI trained approximately 1,000 judges and magistrates across the country in their own academy. In addition, recently, the General Secretary of the SRI has been facing calls to resign after the media published Facebook posts that he had been sending to judges about ongoing trials. On the other end, there are also a number of concerns regarding the DNA's practices of investigation. We have seen many cases where there are violations regarding the assumption of innocence, pretrial detention, both when it is used and how long it is used for, as well as falsifying evidence. Most recently, a couple of months ago, 2 tapes were released to the media in which 2 top prosecutors of the DNA were seen faking evidence. As a result of this, Romania's justice minister has even called for the revocation of the head prosecutor of the DNA, Laura Kövesi. The results of this have not been ruled on yet by the legal procedure, but regardless, they raise obvious red flags. Positions in a government that work for anti-corruption as well as enforcing the rule of law should not be controversial positions to be had, but yet they are. All the leaders are facing accusations and calls to resign, as well as obviously her position to be revoked overall as the DNA's head prosecutor. The other human rights violation that we are concerned about is prison conditions across Romania. They have not been able to meet the minimum standards internationally. In 2017, Romania had the most cases submitted to the European Court of Human Rights out of any other EU country. Most of these had to do with a lack of investigation in trials, the right to a fair trial, and the prohibition of torture and degrading, inhumane treatment. On top of that, as of the 1st of January 2018, Romania had the most pending cases to be heard in the European Court of Human Rights out of any country, EU or non-EU.
What does this mean for the European Union as a whole?
The issues in Romania carry on their back the overarching issue of the European Arrest Warrant. A country which cannot guarantee a free trial or cannot uphold the minimum standards of prison conditions, their extradition request should not be respected. In addition, the European Arrest Warrant as a system can modify their mechanisms in order to ensure that the European Arrest Warrant is used only in cases of the most severe crimes, to make sure that the investigations happen regarding violations before an extradition request is distributed throughout the EU, And finally, that victims of abuse within the system have access to a mechanism in which they can express their experience or their complaints.